Hey everyone, my name is David Dunbar, or the Theme Park Evangelist. Well, it's time to discuss another rise and fall awesome discussion topics because I was so inspired by my rise and fall discussion yesterday about the rise and fall of the American Idol experience, and I mentioned that I was contemplating talking again about Task Tracker, Mission Space, well, not Mission Space, but like the Wonders of Life Pavilion and something like that. Well, I'm going to talk to you guys about the Wonders of Life Pavilion today. What happened to it? Why did it turn into the festival center? And then why are they getting rid of it altogether? Like, why did they let it sit for so long before they're finally deciding we're going to replace it all together with this Moana attraction? So let's get into it. Once again, I'm not using my phone to vlog with, especially since it's charging right now, so we're just gonna have to do the absolute best that we have with the technology that I do have. So, first of all, let's talk about old Epcot. So, when Epcot first opened back in the early 80s, there was eventually an attraction or building that was called the Wonders of Life Pavilion. I cannot talk again. And more or less with this building, you could learn all about the human body, health and safety, all that fun stuff. Um, you could just walk around, and there was two attractions at one point. I think Body Wars came in later, if I'm not mistaken, but what do I know? Body Wars and Cranium Command. So Body Wars, you shrink down and you go into a human body. You're trying to find something particular. I don't remember exactly what it was. And you only have like so long to do it. It was a very, very intense ride. It made Star Tours, even the original Star Tours, look mediocre. Body Wars was not a ride that anybody could just handle. It was a pretty intense ride for its time, and even for years off end. Cranium Command was a little intense and scary for kids because it followed basically what would be the life of a preschool, sorry, not preschool, preteen or teen boy or whatever, and just basically living with adolescence and all that kind of stuff. So for many years, this building called the Wonders of Life Pavilion just basically sat there, and because of the fact that Future World and Epcot was originally all about how we use or how communication has basically changed over time, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what the Wonders of Life Pavilion had anything to do with communication, but whatever. I mean, as far as the science thing, like everything in Future World at that time had some type of science thing behind it. The old test track at the time was all about um, like cars and how they test cars to see if they're ready to go out into the GM test facility. This was after her World of Motion. You still had Horizons at the time, which was basically how communication and transportation has changed. Well, actually, that was what World of Motion was about. But anyway, Spaceship Earth is how communication has changed over time. There was always some kind of sciency feel to everything in Future World because that's pretty much what Future World was about. It was how the future was like, even interventions for crying out loud. Um, Interventions was really really cool when Epcot first opened, and unfortunately over time I noticed it went, but you know, and when Horizons was around, sorry, not Horizons, but when Wonders of Life was around, it was actually a really cool place still. And my dad was actually very privileged to be able to work at Interventions when it first opened. But Interventions is another story for another time. But anyway, I personally always enjoy going to the Wonders of Life Pavilion. I can't tell you guys how many times I went over the years to the Wonders of Life Pavilion. I used to go on Body Wars quite a bit. I enjoyed Crane Command. My brother personally was scared of it as a kid. Of course, now he's a grown man, he wouldn't be bothered by it. But we're talking a long time ago. My brother is 3.5 years younger than me, which, does make a bit of a difference, but still, it's one of those things, and I just personally always loved going. Um, I obviously remember Wonders of Life Pavilion more as a festival center. And, it was really sad when the day did come that they finally just decided, let's just close the doors down. Uh, if I'm not mistaken, they lost their sponsorship with whoever was the sponsor at the time. I honestly don't remember, and because the Wonders of Life Pavilion closed down so long ago, I don't even remember offhand um, exactly when it exactly closed down. And the other sad thing is they never really did anything with Cranium Command, from my understanding, or Body Wars for the longest time. They just decided to hide it and leave it there because supposedly there's a YouTuber that decided to sneak around Volcano Bay. You guys probably heard about him, Masoswana. He has found um, everything in the Wonders of Life Pavilion. He went backstage. He snuck around property and found the Body Wars attraction. He found like the entire queue and all that. He found Cranium Command. He found everything back there. So he definitely proved that Disney just hid it, which is kind of what I was afraid of. But Disney is notorious for doing that. But at least on the bright side, Disney did decide to not just leave an empty building there forever, which for the longest time it was just sitting there as an empty building. And we were starting to wonder, okay, Disney, what are we going to do with this? But thankfully, around the early 2010s, Disney decided, well, we're going to finally do something with it. So they decided that we're going to turn it into the festival center. So it was only open seasonally. So we're talking March through May, and then, of course, August or something to that extent through November. For the longest time, before COVID, that is, that's exactly when it would be open. So let's just go with the Food and Wine Festival for example. You could walk around a lot of that area. I mean, the whole building itself stayed the same all those years. And you could basically walk around and the area that would have been the Wonders of Life Pavilion, but instead they filled it with areas where you could watch actual cooking demonstrations. You could do cooking and eating, or, well, I should say, eating something to that. Let me think here. I guess the best way to answer it is whenever they did like a cooking demonstration or a wine demonstration, they would basically put you in front of a mini kitchen, and they would bring you out different foods or different wines, and you could try out these things. Of course, it would be for added fee, and you could see exactly how good this food and wine was. Chef Ramsay was there one year, I heard, which I think is really, really cool. Would have been neat to meet him. Huge fan of his, especially with Hell's Kitchen, but unfortunately, I'm not always so lucky. And they had an area that was dedicated just to Ghirardelli chocolate, so you could go and buy liquid chocolate. You could try a chocolate square for a sample. Disney had a whole area that they made completely out of chocolate. It changed every single year. It was always one of my favorite things to do. I wish I was YouTubing at the time because I really would have earned a lot of subscribers. I did finally YouTube a food and wine festival, but I waited too long. I used to go to the Food and Wine Festival all the time when I was in college because that's when I had all my free time. That's when I had all the money. But then, unfortunately, when I started YouTubing, that was sadly close to the time when I was moving away. But at the same time, I just never really stopped and thought about YouTubing until a year after I met TJ. But, it is what it is. It's just one of those things. And, the Flower and Garden Festival is kind of cool because there was different areas where you could like buy plants and trees and stuff like that. So they definitely made use out of the Wonders of Life Pavilion for sure. For many years, that's exactly what they used it for. But then Disney decided, well, we want to do something else with this building. Well, I didn't know about this right away, right? So I was YouTubing one day and I decided during the Food and Wine Festival or something to that extent, I'm going to go down there and go find out. Well, they did lockout tagout on the building, which means that at this point, only employees with certain access can now access the building. And also, that means there's a huge safety risk that has to be taken into the building. That potentially means that uh, by entering the building, you accept all risks of entering the building. The building is no longer safe to walk around, which to me meant that they were doing something with it finally. So Disney must have already figured out by this point that they were going to do something with it, but they just didn't know exactly what. But they're going to at least demolish it or something. And I was like, okay, so I guess they're no longer doing it here. So Disney finally got rid of or turned their conference area kind of between Test Track and Mexico and turn it into a new festival center. I don't know if it's going to stay like that, but excuse me, around 2017, 2018, 2019, around that vicinity, somewhere around there. I just don't remember exactly when. That's when Disney finally decided that they were going to get rid of the Wonders of Life Pavilion for good. That was it. So I got to enjoy the Wonders of Life Pavilion for many years. And ironically, when I was in college, that was around the same time I got to ride on Maelstrom the most. That's another attraction I would like to talk to you guys about. But I'm glad that I got to go to Disney all those years when I had that chance. And basically, to conclude with this whole topic, so yes, to answer your question, what is going on with Wonders of Life Pavilion now? And that is Disney is turning it into a Moana water ride attraction or something like that, and that is exactly what they want to do with it to this day. I don't believe they're going to use the same building because, as far as I know, they've destroyed it. I have not been to Epcot in 2 years. I'm actually going to go back next month and go see what's going on with Guardians of the Galaxy, go ride the Ratatouille ride. I still need to get a ticket for next month and then, of course, get the park reservation set up. I was asking someone earlier for a ticket, and the person kept saying, yeah, but I think this person just keeps forgetting because it's not like I'm not going to see this person anytime soon either, but at the same time, I really want to get that park reservation before they're gone. I mean, yeah, I'm going at a slow time, but still, I just don't want to go all the way down to Florida just to not be able to see the Ratatouille ride, if that makes any sense, since it is still new, and I'm still going to the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. If you guys did not know, the 50th is actually going to be going on all the way till early 2023. So, yes, technically it started on October 1st of last year, but it's going on all the way till early 2023. They said it's an 18-month celebration. That's insane. So, yes, I will get to see the castle with a big 50 on it. So, I'm very happy that I still get to go to Walt Disney World for their 50th. Yes, it's not going to be exactly on their 50th, but, I'll still take it. And then the best part is I get to come back to Kings Island shortly after that and celebrate their 50th. So, two 50th birthdays in 1 year. I guess I'm doing really well. All right, guys, I'm going to do the next How I Met Kay and TJ vlog. I believe the next one that I'm on is regarding the very first time that I took TJ to see the Fast and the Furious ride over at Universal. I technically went before him, but I'm not going to count that one because I went by myself, so I'm going to skip that one and talk about the first time I took TJ. And it's going to be an interesting story, so until then, I will see you guys in the next vlog. And always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great night. Peace out.